Andy Murray put in a valiant effort at the Australian Open, but ultimately it wasn't enough to get past his opponent Sebastian Korda. But despite losing, the Scotsman received a standing ovation from the crowd, something that speaks volumes about his character and how much he is respected and admired within the tennis community. Murray has had a long and remarkable career, having won 45 singles titles, including 3 Grand Slam tournaments, 2 at Wimbledon and 1 at the US Open. He reached world number 1 in 2016 and has since been an inspiration for many young aspiring players all across the globe. Murray has been through a lot over the years, from his hip injury in 2017 to his comeback from retirement this year, but he continues to show resilience and determination that make him a true role model for tennis fans and athletes alike. But fans were still quite disappointed to see him exit the tournament. Equally as disappointed was fellow tennis legend John McEnroe. Andy Murray was recently tasked by John McEnroe to learn some lessons from fellow Spaniard Rafael Nadal in the wake of Murray's disappointing Australian Open exit.
As a tennis player, has not been a smooth ride for you. People saw in your suffering something they could relate to, and in your victories, a reason to.
Murray had great resiliency in earlier tournament rounds, but on Saturday he was unable to beat Roberto Bautista Agut in 4 sets. McEnroe believes that the 35-year-old Murray needs to be more aggressive, like Nadal has been in the last 4 or 5 years. The American singles legend praised Murray's return game as one of the greatest ever seen, but suggested that he needed to take advantage of it and look to finish points more quickly by moving forward. However, McEnroe is aware of the difficulties Murray faces in trying to alter his game and acknowledges that at 35 years old, the body has been through a lot of battles and it's tough to teach an old dog new tricks. He also acknowledged the fact that Murray has a very short turnaround between matches, which would have made it difficult for him to adapt his style of play. Ultimately, McEnroe concluded that it's down to Murray finding the right balance between his body and mind in order to move forward, and he hopes that what we saw of him at the Australian Open will be enough for him to continue competing deep into tournaments this year. It certainly looks like an interesting challenge for the British tennis star. Murray will be taking a break from the Davis Cup this month in order to target Rotterdam for his return to action. Afterward, Murray is expected to compete at Dubai, Indian Wells, and Miami, although the European clay season will be a challenge for him. Despite spending some formative years at the Sanchez Casal Academy in Spain, clay is still Murray's weakest surface, and he has only played 3 matches on it since 2017. Murray's biggest goal this year is to place himself back in the top 32 players in the world so that he can be seeded for Wimbledon, his best chance at winning a 4th Grand Slam. GB captain Leon Smith had nothing but praise and admiration for Murray's efforts this week, saying, "I think what he's done this week, it'd be argued that it has been one of the most impressive physical acts any athlete could do." Smith also continued to say that Murray is going to give himself a really good shot at having a really good year playing the way he's playing. Andy Murray's coach, Jamie Smith, is still confident that he can make a comeback. Won't be easy, but with his forehand's speed and agility, as well as his determination to succeed, there are plenty of reasons to believe in him. Murray is well aware that he can't rely on his former style of play to be successful, the kind of counterpunching, chasing and grinding that put considerable strain on his body. It's a stark reminder that even after spending 14 hours combined on court over 3 matches, Rafael Nadal was able to win the entire 2017 French Open in a much shorter time.
Please welcome Rafael Nadal.
This means that the British tennis star needs to be more aggressive and take on the same approach as Roger Federer did when he had knee surgery, which involved reducing point length and trying to hit winners early in rallies. Murray seems to understand this, as he has been doing his best to come forward during matches and attempt to overpower his opponents. It's a strategy that he firmly believes in, and one that could be the key to him getting back into the top 30 rankings. Only time will tell if Murray can truly make a comeback, but for now, we can all enjoy watching him play as he attempts to regain his former glory. Andy Murray was in a reflective mood after his recent loss at the Australian Open, but his performance over the last few days has
Tough to the limit to achieve it. He's done it!
been nothing short of inspiring. After back-to-back 5-set wins, including one that lasted for 5 hours and 45 minutes against Thanasi Kokkinakis. Murray showed no signs of fatigue against Roberto Bautista Agut. It's clear that the former world number one has come a long way since his hip surgery in 2019, and anyone who doubted his ability to make a comeback should be eating their words now. Murray put it best when he said, "You never know exactly when the end is going to be." We couldn't agree more, and it's clear that Murray hasn't given up on his dream of returning to the top 30 rankings. It's a dream that he firmly believes in, and one we are sure he will achieve. After all, with the incredible level of play we've seen from him so far, there's no denying that he still has plenty of fight left in him. You really have to admire the sacrifices Murray has made and the mental strength he must have to keep going. He admitted that, "There were times in the last year where I didn't really feel like I was playing well, and I didn't enjoy the way I was playing." Yet he persevered, and now he is reaping the rewards. But that's not to say there aren't areas in which Andy Murray could improve. In order to really make that jump, there are some key areas he needs to work on if he's going to be competitive with the top players. First off, let's talk about 0-4 shot rally length. Players who tend to win the majority of these short points usually end up winning the match over 90% of the time, and Andy was losing that battle, 268 points won to 299 lost. That's a difference of 31 points, which definitely needs to be worked on if he wants to get better results. Next, we have to talk about first serve points won. Murray came in with a 69%, while the average of players who made it past the fourth round was 72%. He had some pretty good speed on his serves during the tournament, 209 kilometers an hour, but he only racked up 27 aces over 14 sets. Which means he's a little bit on the low end of the spectrum. He needs to work on getting more out of that first serve in order to compete with the best players. Finally, we're looking at unreturned first serves. Andy only had 30%, while the tournament average was 37%. The 4 semi-finalists were all higher, around 42%. This means that he needs to mix it up a little bit more with different locations and speeds. Maybe even jam the ball at the body every now and then. That'll keep his opponents on their toes. So do you think Andy Murray can bounce back from this loss? See you in the next one.